Next, we will have Jason T. Lewis. Jason T. Lewis is currently the director of the Writing and Humanities program at the University of Iowa Carver College of Medicine. He is a past president of the Mark Twain Elementary PTO. He and his wife, Teresa, have a daughter who attends Twain Elementary and a child who lives with the family who attends Wood Elementary.
Thanks, Helen. Anita, you mind if I stand this up? I like to stand. So, as Helen said, I'm Jason Lewis, and I kind of got into this whole thing as a PTO president, standing up and speaking for my school, and that's where you guys are right now. And so, I really feel your pain, and understand where you are, because in many ways I've been there myself. And so, I've been thinking about this issue a lot. I've been thinking to myself, okay, so let's walk backwards. Let's try and explain some of the things that haven't been explained. Let's try to think through this and see where we are. And so I'm going to take you back to where my thought process on this started and walk you through it and just give you a sense of where I would be if I were sitting on the board at the time making the decision or otherwise. So at the board work session the week before they passed the facilities plan, Craig Hansel said, he's the CFO of the district, said, well, we have 19 elementary schools and we're going to have 22 when we build 3 more. And every time I run my spreadsheets, we end up in the red. We can't afford to run those schools. And so, again, the job of the board is to be financially, having some oversight over this stuff. So I was wondering, okay, so if we're talking about Hoover, and if we're taking Hoover out of the equation, what sort of operational costs are we gaining back? I didn't have that answer until I ran into Craig at Wood Elementary when I was registering the boy who's living with us for school. And I said, Craig, can you just give me a ballpark? And he said, the number for a school about that size is $400,000 to $500,000 per year of operational cost. That doesn't include teachers, because teachers go where they're needed, right? And teachers and not losing them is what I was most concerned about when I wanted to know that number. So then I started to think about not just Hoover, but all the schools that we were talking about. I started to think about what is the makeup of Hoover, what are the arguments that could be made that would make this make sense, because that's what you guys want to know. And so as Carla pointed out, Hoover has about 130, 140 transfer students that go there right now, leaving about 30-some, almost 40% of the school not being inside of the attendance zone. And it's been that way for a while. So that tells me that the attendance zone, as it is currently drawn, is not filling that school. Now then, my friend Aaron here is going to pass out the district map that shows walkability zones for you guys to take a look at. These walkability zones show that in the lightest areas, if I'm not mistaken, it's walkability of 2 schools. Walkability is 2 miles in terms of how your feet would go to get to that school. Right around Hoover, the walkability turns almost black. There are 7 schools with walkability within the site, within the Hoover attendance zone. So, unless I'm reading the map wrong, we can continue to serve that attendance zone as we have said matters to us most, giving the opportunity for folks to go to a neighborhood school. It won't be Hoover, but it will be a neighborhood school for so many of those people. What I'm interested in is this. When we have that, and then we have this $270 million facilities plan, it's true. We're falling short of that money. So that $500,000 a year is going to go a long way toward helping us run one of those schools, right? And then the line item for Hoover in terms of improvement was $5.1 million. So I start to think about it as, okay, we just did this fantastic thing. We figured out a way to reinvest in all of our schools, every single one of them, to build schools that are going to help areas that need them. Right now, Grant Wood sits with 8 classrooms worth of temporary classes, right? And some of those kids transfer out and go to other schools. We need to build this new East Side school. These kids are in these temporary classrooms, and they're not going away until we do. Twain is full. Wood is over capacity. Every single elementary school in the East Side area is at or near capacity. We need to figure out these ways. And as much as I feel terrible, I didn't get in this to talk about closing schools. I just feel like I can't make it work without making some changes. And unfortunately, it seems to me like this is a change we can make. Still stay true to the core values that we have, but serve everyone in our community. And so that's why I've come to this really unfortunate conclusion. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and that we can continue to work together as we move forward. Thanks.